Oh my God, babe. Who got bars like you? Love me.
More won't have no problem.
You on my mama, you didn't.
But they different classes.
You on your mama, you drew that?
Like, so I can't mix them.
Oh my God, you drew that for me?
Still have like.
Stinky.
Valentine's Day in Sacramento, 2024. The streets of the Lake Crest Village shopping center hummed with last-minute shoppers searching for flowers, chocolates, and cards. Warm lights illuminated storefronts as couples walked hand in hand, celebrating their love. The clock neared 11:15 p.m., and while most of the city was winding down their romantic celebrations, the parking lot of the shopping center still held a few lingering cars. That night, as countless couples across Sacramento exchanged gifts and shared intimate dinners, the different scene was about to unfold. While romance filled restaurants and homes throughout the city, the Lake Crest Village shopping center would become the site of an unthinkable act, one that would forever change the lives of two young children and tear apart a close-knit family. Chasity Sparkman moved through life with an energy that drew people in. At 26, she embodied the spirit of a young entrepreneur, building her own business selling lashes and hair products while pursuing her psychology degree at Sacramento City College. But above all else, she was a mother who lived for her children, 8-year-old Zani and 6-year-old Priscilla. In a family of 20 siblings, Chasity stood out for her ability to keep peace and maintain connections. Her father, Alfonso Sparkman, often spoke of her forgiving nature and how she could turn any disagreement into an opportunity for reconciliation. She documented her journey on social media, sharing moments of joy with her children, celebrating her business successes, and expressing hope for their future together. That future, however, would be cut tragically short on a night that was meant to celebrate love. Before we continue with Chasity's story, I need to speak directly to you, our viewers. If you found yourself drawn in by the details so far, there's a reason. Stories like Chasity's matter. They hold lessons that could save lives. While many watch these videos and move on, I urge you to be different. Subscribe to join our community of viewers who don't just witness these stories, but learn from them and help spread awareness. The events you're about to hear left 2 children without their mother, a father behind bars, and a family searching for answers. In the coming minutes, we'll explore how a childhood romance transformed into something that would end in tragedy. We'll examine the choices made, the signs overlooked, and the devastating consequences that followed. You might be wondering why Chasity agreed to meet her ex-husband that night. You might question how a day meant for love could end in such heartbreak. As we uncover the truth behind this tragedy, remember, your engagement with this story, your comments, and your insights might help someone else recognize similar patterns in their own life. As one of Alfonso Sparkman's children, Chasity naturally inherited the gift of bringing people together. Her brother Preston often shared stories of how Chasity served as the family's unofficial mediator, stepping in during disagreements with a wisdom that seemed beyond her 26 years. Family gatherings buzzed with extra energy when Chasity arrived.
Who's the thickest? Who's most likely to get arrested? Who's the craziest? Who's the most popular? Who gets the most attention from other guys?
She had a way of making each sibling feel special, remembered, and heard. During celebrations, she'd be the one organizing group photos, ensuring everyone was included. During difficult times, she became the bridge, reaching out to estranged family members and working to rebuild connections. This natural ability to nurture relationships would later make her loss even more profound for the Sparkman family, who relied on her as their emotional cornerstone.
Baby, come give me something new. Then you move. Baby, come give me something new.
8-year-old Zani and 6-year-old Priscilla were Chasity's world. Her social media captured countless moments, Homework sessions turned into giggles, impromptu dance parties in their living room, and quiet moments reading bedtime stories. She approached motherhood with a blend of joy and purpose, determined to raise children who felt secure in their mother's love. Her children knew a mom who showed up at school events, sports games, and parent-teacher conferences. During her studies, she'd often create family study sessions, letting Zanny and Priscilla work on their homework alongside her. These moments, though ordinary, built an extraordinary bond. She'd tell friends that being a mother wasn't just about raising children, it was about raising future adults who would remember these moments and carry them forward. Forgiveness wasn't just a word for Chasity, it was a practice she lived by. Her family recalled how she'd often be the first to extend an olive branch after disagreements. This wasn't weakness, but rather a strength born from understanding the value of family bonds. She taught her children the same principles, showing them how to navigate conflicts with grace and maintain relationships even through difficulties. These lessons in forgiveness and family loyalty would become part of her lasting legacy to her children. Chasity and Isaiah's love story began in their teenage years, blossoming into what many saw as a fairy tale romance. Friends described them as inseparable, often seen walking hand in hand through their Sacramento neighborhood. Their social media posts painted a picture of young love, candid photos of them laughing together, Isaiah playing with their children, and captions full of heart emojis and forever promises. Their connection deepened with the birth of their children, and Isaiah initially stepped into fatherhood with enthusiasm. Videos showed him teaching Zanny to ride a bike, helping Priscilla with her first steps. The couple shared dreams of building a life together, with Isaiah supporting Chastity's entrepreneurial ventures and her pursuit of education. Those who knew them during these early years remembered a couple who seemed to complement each other perfectly. They'd overcome teenage relationship hurdles together, growing stronger through each challenge. Their wedding felt like a natural progression of their story, a celebration of young love maturing into lasting commitment. Yet beneath this picture-perfect surface, challenges were beginning to emerge. What exactly led to Isaiah's imprisonment remains unclear, a detail that many viewers might wonder about. Despite extensive research, public records don't specify the charges that resulted in his incarceration. This gap in information, while frustrating, doesn't diminish the impact his time behind bars had on their relationship. Initially, Chasity demonstrated unwavering loyalty during his incarceration. She maintained consistent contact, scheduling regular calls to update him about their children's milestones and daily lives. However, the strain of separation began showing through their jail phone calls. Isaiah's voice grew increasingly accusatory, suggesting Chasity had abandoned him. Meanwhile, Chasity expressed frustration over what she perceived as dishonesty and strange behavior from Isaiah. Their phone conversations began revealing deeper issues. While Chasity focused on discussing their children's needs and future plans, Isaiah's concerns shifted increasingly toward controlling her actions outside prison walls. He questioned her daily movements, her social media posts, and her interactions with others. These calls, once a lifeline between them, transformed into tense exchanges. Isaiah would switch between expressions of love and accusations of betrayal, often in the same conversation. Friends noticed Chasity becoming more guarded when speaking about her relationship, though she maintained a positive front for their children's sake. The most telling signs emerged in Chastity's changing behavior. This once outgoing woman began limiting her social media presence. She shared less about her daily life, and when she did post, her usual vibrant energy seemed diminished. Those closest to her noticed her making excuses for Isaiah's behavior, a pattern they'd later recognize as a warning sign. In the weeks leading up to Valentine's Day 2024, the relationship took a critical turn. Isaiah's release from prison approached, and their communication patterns shifted dramatically. While Chasity focused on co-parenting arrangements, there were signs that Isaiah had already begun a relationship with someone else. Auna Burgos. Despite this new relationship, Isaiah's preoccupation with Chastity's life intensified. Friends reported Chasity expressing concerns about his unpredictable behavior, though she continued attempting to maintain a peaceful co-parenting relationship for their children's sake. The dynamics had completely transformed from their early days of young love. What started as a childhood romance had evolved into a complex web of control, jealousy, and mounting tension. Even as Chasity worked to build her independent life through education and business, the shadow of their deteriorating relationship loomed larger. I need to pause here because this moment in Chasity's story raises important questions we should all consider. Take a moment to reflect. How many of us have witnessed similar relationship changes in our own lives or those of our loved ones? What starts as love can sometimes shift into control so gradually that we miss the warning signs. If you're finding parallels in this story that resonate with your experiences or someone you know, pause this video and leave a comment below. Your insights might help others recognize similar patterns in their own relationships. This community we're building isn't just about watching stories, it's about learning from them and supporting each other. Think about what you've heard so far. A relationship that began with promise, transformed during separation, and showed subtle, yet significant changes. As we continue with Chasity's story, consider this. What would you do if you noticed these signs in a friend's relationship? Your engagement with these questions could make a real difference in someone's life. On February 14th, 2024, Chasity went about her day as usual. She attended classes at Sacramento City College, managed orders for her beauty business, and spent time with her children. According to family members, she received several calls throughout the day, eventually agreeing to meet Isaiah that evening. The decision to meet wasn't made lightly. Friends later revealed that Chasity had expressed hesitation about the meeting, but felt it necessary to discuss co-parenting arrangements. She told her sister she would be right back, a promise that haunts her family to this day. Around 11 p.m., Chasity drove to the Lake Crest Village shopping center in the Pocket neighborhood. Security cameras would later show her car pulling into the parking lot near the intersection of Florin Road and Greenhaven Drive. She had chosen a public location, likely believing this would ensure her safety. What she couldn't have known was that Isaiah wasn't alone. His girlfriend, Aona Burgos, was also present at the scene. At approximately 11:15 p.m., the quiet of the shopping center was shattered by gunshots. Security cameras captured the brief, devastating moment that would leave two children without their mother. According to police reports, Chasity suffered at least one gunshot wound in the parking lot. Nearby residents, hearing the shots, immediately called 911. Sacramento police officers arrived within minutes to find Chasity critically injured. Emergency medical teams worked desperately to save her life as they rushed her to the nearest hospital. Despite their efforts, Chastity's injuries proved fatal. In the immediate aftermath, the suspects fled the scene. The shopping center, usually quiet at this hour, became an active crime scene. Police cordoned off the area, searching for evidence under the harsh glare of emergency lights. The Valentine's Day decorations, still hanging in nearby shop windows, created a stark contrast to the tragedy that had just unfolded. News of the shooting spread rapidly through Sacramento's tight-knit community. Within hours, social media filled with messages of shock and disbelief. Local residents, many who frequented the shopping center daily, expressed their horror that such violence could occur in their neighborhood. As dawn broke on February 15th, the community began gathering at the shooting site. More than 100 people, friends, neighbors, and even strangers touched by Chastity's story, arrived with candles, flowers, and photos. They formed a circle in the parking lot, sharing memories of the young mother who had touched so many lives. Local business owners in the Lake Crest Village shopping center closed their shops in respect, with many joining the gathering. The tragedy sparked immediate discussions about safety in public spaces, particularly for women meeting ex-partners. Community leaders called for increased security measures and better lighting in shopping center parking lots. The news devastated the Sparkman family. Alfonso Sparkman, father to 20 children, now faced the unthinkable task of burying one of his own. Chastity's siblings rushed to support one another, gathering at their father's house as they struggled to process their loss. The most heart-wrenching moment came when the family had to tell Zanny and Priscilla that their mother wouldn't be coming home. Chastity's sister later shared how the children kept asking when their mom would return, unable to grasp the permanence of their loss. The family rallied around them, promising to keep Chastity's memory alive and fulfill the dreams she had for her children. In the days following the shooting, the Sparkmans made a public plea for information. They faced news cameras with tear-stained faces but unwavering determination to find those responsible. Preston Sparkman, Chastity's brother, spoke about his sister's forgiving nature and how this tragedy had robbed her children of not just their mother, but their chance at a normal childhood. For 4 weeks, Sacramento police conducted an intensive search for Isaiah James and Aona Burgos. The investigation spread across multiple states as leads suggested the suspects had fled California. Detectives worked to piece together their escape route, following financial transactions and examining surveillance footage from various locations. The search intensified when investigators discovered the suspects had crossed state lines, transforming a local manhunt into a multi-jurisdictional operation. The Sacramento Police Department collaborated with federal authorities, recognizing that the suspects' interstate flight added another layer of complexity to the case. Throughout this period, law enforcement maintained regular contact with the Sparkman family, providing updates while being careful not to compromise the ongoing investigation. They asked the public to remain vigilant, emphasizing the suspects should be considered dangerous. On March 14, 2024, exactly 1 month after Chastity's death, law enforcement located Isaiah James and Aona Burgos in New York City. The arrest occurred without incident, a quiet end to a month-long search that had spanned the country. Both suspects were taken into custody by local authorities working in coordination with Sacramento detectives. The location of their arrest raised questions about their choice of destination. New York City, nearly 3,000 miles from Sacramento, suggested a carefully planned escape. They had managed to avoid detection for weeks, staying in various locations before finally being tracked down in the bustling metropolis. The Sacramento Police Department held a press conference announcing the arrests, praising the cooperation between multiple law enforcement agencies that led to this breakthrough. For the Sparkman family, watching the news from their home in Sacramento, the arrests marked the beginning of their long journey toward justice. Alfonso Sparkman, upon hearing the news, simply stated, "Now we can start to heal." The arrest revealed Aona Burgos as more than just a bystander in this tragedy. Investigators determined she had been in a relationship with Isaiah while he was still incarcerated, and evidence suggested she played an active role in the events of Valentine's Day night. Her presence at the scene raised disturbing questions about premeditation. According to investigators, Burgos had accompanied Isaiah to the meeting with Chasity, though her exact role in the shooting remained under investigation. The dynamics between the three added another layer of complexity to the case. This revelation stunned many in the community, particularly those who questioned how someone could participate in violence against a mother of 2 young children. The relationship between Isaiah and Burgos, which had developed while he was still married to Chasity, added another tragic dimension to an already heartbreaking story. Both suspects faced serious charges upon their extradition to Sacramento. Isaiah James was charged with first-degree murder, with special circumstances due to the apparently premeditated nature of the crime. Aona Burgos faced charges as an accomplice to murder, along with additional charges related to their interstate flight to avoid prosecution. The Sacramento District Attorney's Office moved swiftly to begin legal proceedings. During the initial hearing, prosecutors presented evidence suggesting the Valentine's Day meeting was not a chance encounter, but rather a planned confrontation. The charges reflected the gravity of the crime, the deliberate taking of a young mother's life on a day meant for expressing love. The case attracted significant attention from legal experts who noted the complexity of proving premeditation and the role of each suspect in the crime. As the proceedings continue, both defendants remain in custody without bail. The Sparkman family attends each hearing, their presence a silent reminder of the lives forever changed by the events of that February night. Zanny and Priscilla now live with their maternal grandparents, surrounded by the love of their many aunts and uncles. The Sparkman family has created a structured environment to help the children cope with their devastating loss. Their aunt reports that some nights the children still ask when their mother will come home. The family maintains Chasity's routines, from homework sessions to bedtime stories, trying to provide stability in a world turned upside down. Teachers at their school have noted the children's resilience, crediting the strong family support system that wraps around them like a protective embrace. In early March 2024, hundreds gathered at a local community center to celebrate Chasity's life. Friends shared stories of her infectious laugh, her entrepreneurial spirit, and her dedication as a mother. Her business clients spoke about how she transformed their interactions from simple transactions into genuine friendships. The memorial featured photos of Chasity with her children, capturing moments of pure joy. Birthday celebrations, school events, and quiet family times. Local business owners who knew her contributed to a memorial fund established for Zanny and Priscilla's education, honoring their mother's commitment to learning. Chasity's story reveals several common patterns that often precede domestic violence incidents. The progression from control to violence typically follows identifiable stages: isolation, emotional manipulation, and escalating possessive behavior. In this case, Isaiah's behavior during incarceration, questioning Chasity's activities and demanding updates about her daily life, aligned with these patterns. The presence of a new relationship partner often serves as a critical trigger point. Rather than moving forward, some individuals intensify their focus on their former partner. This fixation, combined with perceived loss of control, can lead to dangerous confrontations. The Valentine's Day meeting itself followed a familiar pattern: a request to meet in public, ostensibly to discuss children or shared responsibilities. What makes these patterns particularly significant is how they often hide in plain sight. To those experiencing them, each incident might seem isolated or explainable. The progression can be so gradual that even close friends and family might miss the building tension until it reaches a critical point. Relationship experts point to several key factors that can signal a dangerous shift in dynamics. The power imbalance that develops during incarceration often creates complex dependencies and control issues that persist after release. When one partner maintains constant surveillance of the other's activities, even from behind bars, it indicates an unhealthy need for control, rather than genuine concern. A particularly telling sign in this case was Isaiah's reaction to Chasity's independence. As she built her business and pursued education, his accusations of abandonment increased. This response to a partner's growth and success often indicates deep-seated insecurity masked as possessiveness. Another crucial insight involves the role of children in these situations. Experts note that shared custody often becomes a means of maintaining control over an ex-partner. The necessity of ongoing communication about children can be manipulated into opportunities for continued contact, even when that contact becomes increasingly threatening. Public meeting locations, once considered safe zones for potentially volatile encounters, require careful evaluation. While the Lake Crest Village Shopping Center seemed like a secure choice for a meeting, its late-night environment offered limited protection. Communities across Sacramento have begun examining how to better secure these spaces. Key safety considerations now include the timing of meetings, visibility from multiple angles, and proximity to active businesses. Some communities have designated safe exchange zones with 24-hour video surveillance specifically for custody exchanges and similar meetings. These zones are typically located near police stations or other high-traffic areas with constant monitoring. The presence of witnesses no longer guarantees safety, as demonstrated in this case. Modern safety protocols suggest involving a third party, whether a mediator, family member, or court-appointed supervisor, during meetings with potentially volatile ex-partners. Some communities have established volunteer networks of trained observers who can be present during these exchanges. For those in similar situations, numerous resources exist within Sacramento and nationwide. The National Domestic Violence Hotline provides 24/7 confidential support, offering guidance and connecting individuals with local services. Safe exchange programs, operated through local courts and community organizations, facilitate supervised meetings for custody arrangements. Sacramento's Weave organization offers emergency shelter, legal advocacy, and counseling services. They maintain a confidential support line and can assist with safety planning, protective orders, and emergency housing needs. Additional resources include court-appointed mediators for custody arrangements, family justice centers providing comprehensive support, legal aid services specializing in domestic violence cases, support groups for both adults and children affected by family violence, counseling services focused on healing and moving forward. Today, Chasity's story has become a catalyst for change in Sacramento. Local organizations have incorporated her experience into their education programs, highlighting how domestic violence can escalate even in seemingly public safe spaces. Her case has prompted new discussions about the vulnerabilities people face when meeting former partners, especially during custody arrangements. Each of us has the power to prevent similar tragedies. If you notice a friend's partner showing controlling behavior, speak up. If you see someone in a vulnerable situation, offer support. Local businesses can ensure their premises remain safe spaces, particularly during evening hours. Our community's strength lies in our willingness to watch out for each other. When we see signs of trouble, we must act, whether by offering resources, providing a safe space, or simply being present. The time to intervene is before tragedy strikes, not after we're left wondering what we could have done differently. As we conclude Chastity's story, I want you to take action. If this video has moved you, don't just scroll away. Hit subscribe and join our community, dedicated to sharing these important stories and preventing future tragedies. Your comments matter more than you might think. Share your thoughts below, not just about Chastity's story, but about how we can better protect each other. Have you witnessed warning signs in relationships? What made you recognize them? Your insight could help someone else identify similar patterns in their own life. For those watching who might recognize aspects of their own situation in this story, you're not alone. The resources mentioned in this video will be listed in the description below. Save them, share them, or reach out if you need them. Remember Chasity Sparkman, not just as a victim, but as a mother, entrepreneur, and daughter who deserved to see her dreams fulfilled. Honor her memory by being vigilant, by speaking up, and by taking action when you see concerning behavior in your community.